Welcome back to another episode of DB Unscripted. I'm your host, Justin Valley Joe, Communications and Marketing Assistant with the City of Daytona Beach. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to us. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We're at the city's website. If you go to daytonabeach.gov/DB Unscripted, we're on YouTube, so you can find us, and all of our episodes are archived, so you can play back and listen to whatever episode you want to. But please be sure, again, if you haven't subscribed, to just take 5 seconds and subscribe to us so you can stay up to date with everything going on with our podcast. Now, for today's episode, I want to introduce the person who makes all of our awesome city events run smoothly. And we have a ton of events throughout the entire year, from seafood festivals to concerts to Christmas parades. So without further ado, I want to introduce Katie Prestwood, who is our Community Relations and Event Coordinator. So Katie, thanks for joining the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Justin. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So can you just give me a quick introduction about your background and how you came, not just working for the city, but how you got into doing events?
Sure. So I went to University of Florida, where I earned my degree in Parks and Recreation and did a specialization in event management. From there, I went on to work in the hospitality industry here in the city for a few years at a couple of different hospitality, different hotels. So I did events there. I did got a lot of different backgrounds from catering to food and beverage to weddings, group sales, all kinds of different events. And so from there, I made my way into Parks and Recreation here at the city as an event specialist. And about 3 years ago, started doing that. And about a year ago, went into my current position, which is
3 years ago is when you started. Wow.
Like three and a half years ago here with the city.
Yeah, how fast the time's
And
gone.
it's been just over a year now that I'm in my current position, which is focusing more on the events. Still doing some of the older events like Midtown Concert Series with Parks and Rec and Easter Beach Run, but also doing those events for the commissioner and the mayor.
Now, what made you want to get into the event planning and community relations? Like, what made you want to go down that road?
So as a kid, I just always really loved planning events and kind of had a passion for it. I would plan like my own birthday parties and all the games.
Wow, okay. I always
like
left that up to my mom. I was never into that.
Yeah, I just always really loved it and would plan like lots of really fun stuff. And I would get all of these like event planning books. And so when I got to college and it was time to pick my major, my mom was like, why don't you do event planning? You've always loved it.
Up your alley,
it just made sense.
Now, what are some of your favorite events to plan for?
So here with the city, I always really love the holiday events because it just gets into the spirit of Christmas and getting to communicate with all of the different groups in the city. Like for the parade, I get to really work with all of the different groups and the schools and community organizations, and everyone's just in a good mood for the holidays. The children's Christmas party, it's just such an amazing event to have.
Fun one, yeah.
You know, you get the kids out there and all the fun activities and Santa, and it's just a lot of fun.
I think too that one has a little bit of anticipation built up because you have the gates that they're closed, and so you have this huge line, and then once they open the gates, everyone just kind of floods in. And I know this year it's going to be at a different location, right?
Correct. So unfortunately, we've had a really, really great relationship with Jackie Robinson Ballpark, with the Tortugas, and it's been fantastic having the event there the last couple of years. But since they're doing their renovations this year, we are having to switch it to City Island Park, which is still going to be fantastic, still going to be a great event. But
it's right there. I mean, it's just on the other side of a parking lot, really.
Exactly. And the Tortugas are still involved, so they're still going to come out and be a huge part of the event. But yeah, we can't wait to get back to Jackie Robinson Ballpark next year.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you, one of my favorite events is the Crab and Seafood Festival for me, just because with all the good food that's at that festival, and it's not just seafood, because some people they might not eat seafood, but they still want to go down, with it being on MMB. But there's a ton of different options for people, and it's all really good food. There's a ton of stuff for kids to do there too.
Kids and all the music, you can see performances, DJ. There's so much going on, and it's an all-day event, so you can come for lunch or you can come for dinner or you can stay the whole day. So it really is a great event.
Now, I know we have some events that kind of not want to say pop up, but some that are not on the calendar every year. But can you take me through our events that we offer to all of our residents throughout the year that we know every year, hey, this event's going to be coming up?
Yes. So our Midtown Concert Series that takes place, we did move the date last year. So instead of it being a summer series with it being like through the rainy season, we ended up moving it to like a January start date. So it's a little bit cooler. We don't have to worry about the weather as much. But those are every month for 5 months. We do a concert out at the newly renovated Daisy Stocking Park.
Right.
So it's just beautiful. So we have that going on. We also have our Easter Beach Run. I know we mentioned that before. This is going to be our, I believe, 57th annual.
That's crazy.
So that is like the longest standing foot race in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool accomplishment. You have those people that just come out every single year after year with their families.
And you're running on the beach. It's a beautiful run, and which I love running, and I love doing the 5K races. I know this one isn't a 5K, it's either the 2 or 4 mile, but still you're running on the beach, and a lot of times it's during in the morning with the sunrise. It's beautiful.
It is, and you got the band shell normally right there, and so it's just very historic. And just bringing those families together for the Easter weekend is really fun. We also have our, we already mentioned our Christmas events, but we also have our senior prom that we've been doing. So that's for our 60 plus community. It's a free event that they get to come out and have a really nice evening of dinner and dancing and get together, get all dressed up, take photos together. So we typically have that around the holidays as well. You mentioned our Crab and Seafood Festival, which we've been having every spring, and then our 4th of July Veterans Parade, which we brought back this year.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun this year too. And one thing I really like about our events is the fact that it's for all ages. I mean,
That's right.
Like you mentioned, we have the children, we have all the children's Christmas party, which is for the kids, and all the way up to our senior prom for our senior citizens in Daytona Beach. There's a special event, or not a special event, but there's an event for all ages.
That's right.
And it's throughout the year. Christmas parade, Christmas party, the Midtown Concert Series, which is for kids too. I know a lot of it is the older demographic that shows up, but kids are invited to that too as well, right?
Open to everybody, exactly.
Yeah. Now, Daytona Beach is turning 150 years old next year.
That's right.
So I know we have a lot of good, fun things in store for our residents when it comes to events. Can you give us a little sneak peek of what's going to be offered, or what the residents can look forward to next year?
Yes. So save the date because the city's turning 150 on July 26, 2026. So that weekend, we are planning a really fun celebration. I don't want to give too much away yet, but we are we're planning something at the band shell. So we'd like to have a concert over there and tie in that historic aspect. But then we also want to have like a family-friendly community day at one of our community centers. So we have a great board and team of employees that's working on planning all of these fun festivities. We're also going to sprinkle in some festivities throughout the year. So it's not just going to be that weekend. We're going to be having, we're going to be celebrating the sesquicentennial.
I know, it's a mouthful. I didn't even want to, Katie, I didn't even want to attempt it. I'm going to say 150 years.
I feel like at this point, I've had enough time to practice. I should have it down, but it's a tough one. So, but yeah, we're going to be celebrating it throughout the entire year.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see all the events, and it's a big deal too. 150 years. I mean, that's serious.
It's exciting.
It's going to be awesome. I'm sure the events are going to be amazing, and I know the day when Daytona Beach turns 150, that weekend's going to be a lot of fun too at the band show, I'm sure.
It is.
So can you take me through some of the challenges? Because I'm sure there's got to be challenges when it comes to special events, because anything can happen.
Sure.
I know Murphy's Laws, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, is something I was taught in college. So I'm sure there's got to be some challenges that comes with your role and your responsibility. So can you kind of take me through some of those?
Sure. I would say the biggest one has to be weather, because a majority of our events are going to be outdoor events.
Yeah.
So you can't control the weather. You can try to predict it, but even the weathermen, don't know what's going to happen. So you just try and prepare as best you can and make those decisions in the moment of what's going to be best for your event. And like the Midtown Concert Series, okay, we keep getting rained out, we keep having thunderstorms where we have to cancel. Maybe this is better in a different time of year. So those sorts of things, I'm just trying to plan for the worst and hope for the best in all kinds of different circumstances. So when you have things that come up that that aren't something that you knew about, that you have time, everything else is good, everything else is set, you can come together as a team and figure out those last minute issues and, oh, we need to run get this, or, oh, this happened, we had a generator failure, let's get let's have a backup plan for power. So just having those backup plans in place.
So you always have like a plan B, plan C in
exactly
place too, right?
Exactly. And then I would say the other thing is just planning as much as you can, because you have those, like you mentioned earlier, you have those pop-up events where a lot of these events we're planning ahead of time. We're planning 6 months to a year in advance, but sometimes you have them that pop up and, okay, we're going to do an event next month.
And the way you pull those off, it's just like, it's like, no, there's no way this is going to be able to work. And then all of a sudden, here you are.
We make it happen. We come together as a team, and everyone just, pitches in and does their part, and we know it needs to get done, and so we just make it happen.
Yeah, I think I pay attention a lot more to different events that I go to now that that aren't related to the city. Just my wife, one time there was like a dinner, special dinner for her college that was at the Hilton, and seeing all the details that go into that. 5-6 years ago, I would have just never realized it, but then now that I see it from your side and your perspective, I see all the details that go into making events work, and not just work, but just have them thrive. So I've seen it and I appreciate it, and I know the residents do as well. But there is so much work, I feel like, that goes or that happens behind the scenes.
That's right.
That leads up to these events, and sometimes that can be not noticed, but I definitely notice it, because I know a lot of the work that you put in it's incredible. So, could you take me through some of the most enjoyable parts about being our community relations and event coordinator?
Yeah, I would say just getting to build those relationships with the community. So the different community groups and the local colleges and universities, and those residents that are just so involved and so amazing. They come out to all of our events and they're supportive and give their feedback and really want the city to be a better place. So I think that's one of my favorite parts of it. And then after the fact, I get to enjoy all of these amazing events. Once it's set up and everything's running smoothly, you're good to go. I get to bring out my family, and we get to have a great time. My kids enjoy the bounce houses or the face painting or the different activities that we have in store. That a concert, once the concert's up and running, my job is pretty good. I get to sit there and enjoy the music.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got to be pretty satisfying to see all your hard work pay off once these events come to life finally, and all that planning ahead of time. It all pays off, right?
Absolutely.
When you're sitting there and you see the event happening, and I'm sure it's got to feel pretty good.
Absolutely, seeing it through the community's eyes and seeing them enjoy themselves and having a good time, and all of the youth in the community or the seniors at the senior prom who maybe this is the one time a year that they actually get out and they get dressed up, and
it's a big deal.
It's rewarding to see that.
And I just feel like we have so many events here. Like, and one of the best parts, not all of them, but majority of these events are free. Which
Correct.
is, there's so much to do in there, and they're not just in one location. It's not like all of our events are at the band show or all of our events are at Daisy Stocking. They're scattered throughout the city. Like you said, the senior prom is at the Cherry Center, correct? Then you have Midtown Music Concert Series at Daisy Stocking. You have the Easter Beach Run, like you mentioned before, at at the band shell, the parade on Beach Street. So it's all throughout the city and for all ages, and it's free. Majority of these events are free. So sometimes when I hear, there's nothing to do in Daytona Beach, I'm like, just look, just open your eyes and see, like, there's so much here, and it's throughout the year. It's not like we only have a couple events during the holiday season. It's scattered throughout the whole year. So I see it, like I said, and I know it's a lot of work that you put in. So if budget and logistics weren't an issue, what would you want to bring as a event to Daytona Beach?
So I remember I grew up in the area, and so I remember as a kid, my very first concert was going to see Britney Spears here at the Ocean Center.
Wait, she performed here at the Ocean Center? She performed
here at the Ocean Center.
Wait, and how old were you?
This was back in the late 90s, I want to say.
Oh my goodness, I never knew that.
Yeah, I was just a kid, but that is like such a big memory for me. Okay. And so if we could get back to some like big name concerts like that, I think that would be phenomenal.
The band shows had a couple. I know we've had a few. Nothing like Britney Spears, but that would be
That would be my dream, to be a part of something like that and get some really big names and, just kind of have Daytona on the map. I know we have like the Welcome to Rockville event that comes here to Daytona and things like that, but that's kind of, an outside company.
Separate,
so for myself to be involved would be wonderful.
And I think the band shell is such a great location. I mean, the fact that we have that, and it's an open area where you can fit a lot of people there. If they want to listen to music, and it's right on the beach. The hotels are right there too. I mean, it's a pretty cool location. So I it would be nice to see some bigger names. I'm sure you can get them at the Ocean Center, but even at the band show, we can get some big names to come out there and perform. It's a great location, I think. So,
it is. Yeah. It is.
So, what's something that people would be surprised to learn about? Planning for the events here at Daytona Beach?
I think just what we kind of touched on earlier is how much planning that goes into it and how far in advance we're typically planning for these events. So for these annual events, we're talking 6 to 12 months in advance that we start, because we have to get with all of the departments. So it starts just like it would for anyone outside of the city that wants to do an event. It starts with an application, and that application goes through the different departments. It goes through the police department, it goes through traffic, it goes through fire, it goes through all of the risk management, legal, just to make sure that everything is in place, they're aware, and they're okay with it. Because we can't have an event if we're not able to have the necessary resources, if we can't have police there, or we can't have traffic because they have another big event going on. So, and then just the communication with, I didn't even mention like the AV team, so a lot of our events, we have microphones, we have speakers, we have video. So all of that comes in. And then your team as well is such a big part of planning these events, with getting the word out to everybody, and the newsletters and the flyers and communicating on social media.
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration that goes into the events, I'm sure. Could you actually paint me a picture and take me through the process from start to finish of one of our events? It doesn't matter which one, but can you kind of just take me through that process so people really see everything that goes into, because you mentioned it, it's not just, hey, we're going to have this event. You got to get with traffic if there's road closures. You got to get with police if we need to have those resources. Even something as small as having bathrooms available, right?
Correct.
So could you kind of just take me through the process from start to finish of planning out these events?
Yeah, so like for a parade, for instance, so we're getting together, we're meeting with the whole team. We're, before we even pick a date, typically we're meeting with everyone. Okay, is this date going to work? What other events do we have going on in the city? Do we have bike week going on? Do we have any races going on? Any of those outside events that we also need to take into consideration? So we're meeting with the team, and we typically have those meetings about monthly until we get closer. And then once we get closer to the event, we might have them go to,
up a little bit.
We might go to a little more often, twice a month, or sometimes even weekly, depending on the event. But just doing that application, having it circle through, go through all of the different departments, and then they come back with their concerns. So sometimes risk management might come back and say, ooh, we're not able to do, this bounce house because it's too much of a liability.
Okay.
Or, legal has to review every single one of our contracts and agreements before they're signed. So that's very time consuming because they got a lot on their plate as well. So we have to plan so far in advance so that we are making sure that they have time to review everything, the city is covered, and we're making sure we're going through in order. But yeah, just renting things, so renting those portalettes for the parade. We have to make sure we have enough restrooms. We have to make sure we have the hand wash stations available. And that goes for all of our events, for Crab and Seafood Festival, for the concerts, if it's at a location where we don't have restrooms available. Renting those kids' activities, so any kind of the slides or the activities, the inflatables. The trackless train that we all love at our Crab and Seafood Festival that we've had going on. So it's just a lot of coordination, tents, tables, chairs. Parks and Recreation is a huge help. They normally supply all of the staffing. They normally do all of the setup, making sure that they'll bring their concession trailer out there and have hot dogs or drinks for sale, chips for all of our events. So sometimes when we have events like at City Island, in the past when we've done Trunk or Treat, we take the barriers around, and they set them up around the entire perimeter of the event, just for safety reasons, to make sure kids aren't
run off.
Exactly, running off towards the river or something like that. So security, sometimes we have to hire outside security detail in order to help with these events and just make sure everything is safe.
That's a lot. That is a lot, but somehow you always pull it off.
So, well, and that's where it helps, where we have, 6 months to a year to plan, so that if we need to order different things like medals for Easter Beach Run, we need to get medals ordered, or special T-shirts for our participants, then we have the time to coordinate and design those and get them in time.
Now, have you ever had a moment of, or is there an event where you ever had a moment where you said to yourself, how did I do this? How did this happen? How was I able to pull this off?
Sometimes, mostly it's the time frame in such a short amount of time, trying to get everything together. But everyone at the city, all of my coworkers are, we get it, right? Sometimes things are thrown on our plate last minute, and we just all come. All come together and just make it happen and work together. Okay, well, what do we need to do? How can we get to yes? How can we make this work?
I think we definitely have a really good team when it comes to our events, and from our side, and being in communications, we're always there for whatever you need. We're getting the word out through all of our different channels that we have to offer. So I will say the collaboration has got to be a huge help.
Absolutely, it's fantastic.
Would you rather have a beach sunrise or a beach sunset for event?
So I think just with us being East Coast, I'm going to have to go with sunrise.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I know we mentioned Easter Beach Run, and sometimes that does align. We always have to take into consideration the tide schedule. So when is it high tide, when is it low tide, since it is a beach race.
Right.
So we love to have it, if we can, first thing in the morning. That's our favorite time to have the event. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but when we can have it on the beach with the sun coming up, and that's when the race is starting,
and the water's calm too.
It's ideal.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's got to be easy not easy, but it's easier for staff to do it in the morning, because then maybe they can get that out of the way. They have the rest of their day to enjoy too.
Yeah, especially with it being Easter weekend, it is always nice for that event specifically to be able to, okay, we had the event, now everyone can kind of be on their way if they want to, go out of town, go visit family, or if they have family coming in, get ready for dinner the next day, that sort of thing.
Now, would you rather have a food festival or a concert?
Oh, that one is so tough, and I want to say both, because like
I know a lot of times they kind of go hand in hand.
They kind of go hand in hand. Like our Crab and Seafood Festival, we with moving the Midtown Concert Series to January start date last year, we were able to combine that for our Crab and Seafood Festival. They happened on the same date. And that was really nice, because Crab and Seafood Festival, we have that event going on all day, and then everyone could make their way over to Daisy Stocking Park, which was right there, and enjoy the concert that night.
Right.
So they went hand in hand. If I had to choose, I think I'm going to have to go with the food.
I agree.
Because, there's just so much variety, and normally with a concert series, depending on the series, but normally with a concert series, you're kind of sticking to one genre.
Yeah.
So you're kind of one group of people that like that specific type of music. Whereas the food festival, you can get anyone and everyone. You can have all different types of food, and you can try different things. And
like I said, I really like the Crab and Seafood Festival specifically, just because there's so many different options for people. Like I said, it's not, if you want to go down there but you don't eat seafood, you don't have to be discouraged and not like, well, I'm not going to go. Well, no, because there's other options. There's vegan options, and there's other things than seafood for people to eat too. And then when it comes to the seafood, there's so many options for that. It's pretty, it's pretty good. That's one of my favorites.
And I love just walking around and kind of like looking at what everyone else has, and wait, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? So that's a lot of fun.
Definitely. So what are some events coming up that people can look forward to?
All right, so we have a couple coming up very soon. Coming up this weekend, this Saturday, we have our Academic All-Stars Parade.
Right.
So that is to celebrate the schools becoming, well, not only the schools becoming an A schools, we had 3 schools that actually achieved that this year. Seabreeze High School, Mainland High School, and Beachside Elementary.
Yep.
And our district, though, is also an A district.
And I would say that was the first time since like 2009?
Yes.
Somewhere around there. Like,
so
it's been a long time.
A lot to celebrate there. These kids, teachers, administrators, parents have been working really hard to try and get these grades up and try and get these students to improve. So this is a lot to celebrate. So that's going to be here on Beach Street this Saturday. It'll be at 6 p.m. We're having all of the schools. We invited all of the Daytona Beach schools to come out and be a part of this celebration, as well as some of our community groups. So that'll be at 6 p.m. and then immediately following the parade on City Island in the park, we're going to have a ceremony to follow.
Awesome.
So that's taking place this Saturday. Next Saturday, we have our game night. So this is going to be an adult game night, 18 plus, but you get to come out and you can play cards, you can play Uno, dominoes. There's going to be food available for sale.
Gambling.
So no gambling,
Okay.
no money exchanged.
Okay.
But
we just had to clarify that,
no gambling allowed, but you can still come out and have a great time. We'll have music playing. We'll have like that great food available, and it's just a time to come out. I know we also have the Bethune-Cookman game going on that weekend, but it's something to do that night. So the Cookman game is earlier in the day. You can go to that, and then you can go home and shower and change, and then something to do that night. Come back out to the Cherry Center and have a great time playing some card games with your friends.
Awesome. Yeah, so I know there's a ton of stuff going on, and I know we have is it the Artisan Market that's going to be coming up?
Yes.
Too?
So we also have the Artisan Market. That'll actually be our first one will be that morning, and that's going to be taking place at YSG. So we are opening that up to community vendors. We're not charging them right now. We're just asking them to come out and have something good to sell. We want to see what our community has to offer. So we're just asking them to come out, and they can sell plants. They could sell baked goods. They could sell items that they make, arts and crafts, or that sort of thing. So we want them to come out, and it's like I said, completely free. So free to be a vendor. You just have to sign up ahead of time. It's free to attend. We want the community around the Derbyshire area to come out and have a good time. We'll have some food for sale as well. If you want to get some hot dogs or a couple sodas, that sort of thing, we'll have that. So just come out and support your local. This is all very local.
That's awesome.
So we don't have people coming over from Orlando or like this is all a very small knit community event. And
just like we mentioned before, parades on Beach Street, game nights at the Cherry Center, and the Artisan Markets at YSG.
At YSG.
So it hits all different areas of Daytona Beach.
Exactly. Right? So we're going to be repeating that Artisan Market. We're going to have it once a month for the next 3 months. So this will be our first one. We'll have it again in October and again in November, just to get some different vendors to come out. And so every month it's going to be something a little bit different. So gives you a reason to come out.
Right.
To all 3 of the markets.
Awesome. Yep, very good. So is there anything else you would want to add to the podcast?
I just hope that everyone comes out, come try something new, come to a venue maybe you haven't been before, come and see, check it out. Like you said, most of these events are free, so it can't hurt to just come and see, what it's all about. And for people, if they want to get more information, all they have to do is, follow us on social media. We post everything on there. If you're not on social media, all the community centers have all the flyers for all the different events as well, too. So absolutely. And I hope to see everyone out there. Awesome. Very good. So thank you again for joining the podcast today. Thank you, Justin. So thank you again for listening to DB Unscripted. If you haven't done so already, again, please be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and the city's website at daytonabeach.gov/DB Unscripted.
You can stay up to date with all of our episodes on there. And if you haven't done so already as well, please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, Nextdoor, Neighbors, YouTube, LinkedIn. And so you can stay up to date with everything happening in Daytona Beach, including all of our awesome events that Katie Prestwood oversees as well. So again, thank you for listening to DB Unscripted, and we'll see you for the next episode.